Hi, welcome to my kitchen and welcome to my channel Cake. I'm your hostess Suzanne. Today we're going to get ready for Halloween. We're going to make a spider web cake filled with little tiny spiders all over it. It's going to be super cool. We're going to start with 3 8-inch German chocolate layers. Right here we're going to go ahead and get started and level them off. You can do this any way you feel most comfortable with. There are those special tools where you can purchase them and they will level them perfectly for you. I have a couple. I choose to use the serrated knife as I feel I have the most control over it this way. Use whatever feels most comfortable for you. Okay, there's my one layer. We've leveled all 3 of our cakes. I'll go ahead and get this place cleaned up and I'll be right back. Great, now that we got this place all cleaned up, we're ready to assemble. I'm gonna take my 8-inch cake board and put it onto my turntable. I have a little bit of a non-stick pad here. I'm gonna try to go ahead and center this cake board in the middle of my turntable to make everything more centered. I'm gonna take a little bit of my chocolate buttercream frosting and smear it on there. This way the cake does not slide around on the cake board. Okay, let's go ahead and get our first one on there. Don't forget to take your parchment paper out from underneath your cake. That won't taste very good. Once you get it on your cake board, make sure it's centered onto the cake board. And I like to do this just by pressing with my fingers. You can kind of feel where it is. Go ahead and give it a little squish, squish down. So right now we're going to go ahead and create that dam for the filling, and we're going to apply steady pressure as we're turning your turntable around, and we're just getting this as close to the edge as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think that's going to be my new hashtag. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I like everything perfect, and I think I say it so often trying to convince myself. Okay, there we go. And again, this filling probably doesn't need the dam, but we had the frosting. Oopsie daisy, there goes filling everywhere. And don't you love German chocolate filling? All those luscious pecans and coconut and brown sugar. It's gonna be so good. Try to make it as flat as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Go ahead and take the next layer. Take off that parchment paper, center it onto the one below it, and do the little trick we like to do with our fingers. Make sure that the cakes are all straight. Go ahead and take our chocolate buttercream and create a dam. And next we're going to put the last layer on. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to put it on upside down. This creates the best flat top for a cake. We're going to make sure she's on there straight. Don't want no wonky cake. Press her down a little bit. Give her a little jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And make sure she's all level. She looks great to me. I'm going to go ahead and stick her in the freezer. Then we're going to crumb coat her next. And now we're going to crumb coat our Scary Spider Web cake. Right here we have some chocolate buttercream that has been dyed black with some gel food coloring. We're going to go ahead and put a big amount there on top. And we're going to go ahead and do our little squiggle back and forth. We're just pushing that frosting out towards the edges without really lifting up our offset spatula. We're just smearing that around. Again, this is just a crumb coat. And a crumb coat is just what it sounds like. It's just locking in those crumbs so we don't get any crumbs in our final coat. Go ahead and keep on squishing that around, pushing it off the edge. That's exactly what we want to happen. Let's go ahead and get the sides here and go on the front so you guys can see what I'm doing. Basically just going back and forth like a windshield wiper motion. Just trying to cover the sides of the cake. contaminate our final coat frosting with crumbs. That would defeat the purpose of doing a crumb coat. Okay, we're going to go ahead and squish some of that frosting into those gaps that we have. And we're going to go ahead and go around. Here she is crumb coated. We're going to go ahead and pop her in the freezer for about 20 minutes. While she's in the freezer, we're going to make some spiders for our spider web. Right here I've melted some candy melts in the color black. So you'll want to put them in a microwavable dish, obviously, and about 10-second intervals, and you want to stir in between. We're going to go ahead and pour this into a decorator's bag. I cut off the tip ever so slightly and kind of tried to fold it down in the bottom of this glass. So when I pour it in, it doesn't just come out the other side. And I just put it in this cup, just make it easier for a one-person operation here. We'll go ahead and pour in the candy melts into this decorator's bag. I have a cookie sheet here. You don't have to use a cookie sheet, anything flat, anything you want to use, or you can just do it on the countertop onto a parchment paper or a wax paper even would work. So what we're going to do is give this spider a body. Spiders, we're doing more than one. And a body than a head. So we'll do a bigger dot here. And oops-a-daisy, right next to it, we're going to do a smaller dot. Okay, well that one already has some legs. We're going to go ahead and do a bigger dot. Right next to it, a smaller dot for the head. Okay, now we're going to make 8 little eggs for every little spider. It's going to be open V's. Let's try that here. And let's go up and down, up and down. Some of these spiders have arthritis, but that's okay. And these will harden while we're finishing up the cake. This is going to be our scary spider web cake. We'll go ahead and put on some chocolate buttercream frosting that I've dyed black. Go ahead and put a bunch on here. And again, we're going to squish, squish, squish around and around, back and forth, until we get a nice level layer of buttercream here. And I'm going to try to get as even as possible. Okay, then we'll go ahead and put some on the sides. Again, just trying to keep a level amount of frosting all the way around and on the top of the cake. And we want to go all the way down to the cake board and all the way up to the top. Go ahead and get this top level. Spin it around and keep your offset spatula flat. This one's going to have a scary spider web over it, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Actually, probably a little bit more imperfections will make it look scarier. I'm probably going to say that a few more times. Okay, so we're going to take our bench scraper. We're going to keep it level, and we're going to keep this edge here next to the cake board. And we're going to make about a 90-degree angle so a piece of pie can fit between the bench scraper and the cake. Okay? And we don't have to go around all the way at once. One swipe, we can do a couple different, but if you can go all the way around in one, that's fine too. And as you can see, I have quite a bit that came off. And that's to be expected. That's what we want. Give it another go around, keeping our bench scraper as level as we can. Go ahead and clean off the top to make the corners of the cake nice and clean and crisp. So basically this is an airplane motion. The airplane comes in, does a fake landing. I don't know what those are called. I probably should figure that out. It goes in for the landing, it doesn't quite land, it goes woo, and goes back up. Okay, so here we go, the airplane, and it's coming in. You want to keep your offset spatula flat. Or at a slight tilted angle. I like it flatter than not. Barely touch that corner and lift up and scrape off. We'll go ahead and stick this back in the freezer for a good 20 minutes again. And while that's in the freezer, I'll be making the scary spider web. Just have a bowl, a microwavable bowl with some mini marshmallows. We're going to stick them in the microwave, 10-second intervals, stirring in between. Oh my goodness, look at this. Our marshmallows have inflated so big. That's to be expected. Go ahead, just give them a stir. Be careful, it's going to be a little bit warm to the touch. We're going to continue to stir them until they cool down to where I can touch them with my hands. As you can see, we've taken our Scary Spiderweb cake out of the freezer and have placed it on a cake pedestal. And our marshmallow has cooled down just enough to where we can play with it, okay? I have a feeling my hands are going to get sticky, so I'm going to go ahead and spray my hands with some non-stick spray. Now that I sprayed my hands with some non-stick spray, cooking spray, I'm going to see if this doesn't stick to my hands forever and a day. Let's go ahead and give this a whirl. Ooh, it feels kind of fun. It's still kind of warm, but not too warm. We're just going to drape this, and I don't care. I kind of want it on the cake plate too, to make it look even scarier, more fun and festive. Ooh, my Scary Spiderweb cake is taking shape so beautifully. I'm loving it. This is the most fun I've had in a while. I think you should do it too. I think you should try this. If I can do it, you can do it. And I want you to try it at home. And if you do, share the pictures with me. I'd love to see them. I'm going to wash my hands off, and then we're going to go get their scary spiders for our cobweb cake. Okay, so we got the spider web on our Scary Spiderweb cake. Now we're going to put the scary spiders on the Scary Spiderweb cake. So here's our spider parts. We're going to go ahead and assemble them. I don't know if I'm going to need to use any of this buttercream or not, because our marshmallow is still sticky, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it here, and just in case I need it, go ahead and take a couple of the big scary spider bodies. Put him right there. See how many legs we can get on here. There's supposed to be 8. Let's go have some hanging off the side. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of these on and be right back. So here's our final product, our Scary Spiderweb cake with a few little spiders on it. I went ahead and put the spiders on, and I added a little bit of red with some petal dust. It's edible petal dust, or it's also called luster dust. I got a little tiny paintbrush, got it slightly damp, and dipped it in there and made little eyes and little dots on the top of each spider. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Remember, you can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it. If you like what you've seen today, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. That really helps me out a lot, and it doesn't cost a thing. Also, if you want to be notified every time I upload a video, hit that little bell-shaped thing. That's a notifications bell. It'll send you an email every time I upload a video. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Until next time. If you've enjoyed this Scary Spiderweb cake, you'll also like my spooky spider cake. I'll put the link of the video in the description box below.